Your life today is the result of yesterday's habits. Who you are today is not who you are, it's who you've been. If you want to change who you are in the future, then it starts today.
I believe that my effort makes a difference. When you will believe in you, like I believe in you, you'll do the impossible.
What is your personal mission? What is your legacy that you want to claim, that you want to stay strong to? Because that becomes the banner over your life.
Your abilities will only match your belief system. I think leadership is about getting people to think differently, not do different things.
You can have definite purpose, but there are days where you drift. A sales warrior does not ask for things to be easier. It doesn't ask for their company to make it easier for them. It always says, hey, how can I be better?
Made a decision to say, you know what? I'm going to change my life and go from I am not enough to I now am enough. And now she began to make enough to support her family.
A sales warrior does not drift into excellence. A sales warrior designs excellence.
Hey everyone, hey, this is Jason Forrest. I'm super excited for you guys to be here today. We are doing an awesome live, and I have this big event that is coming up, and I wanted to share with you about it. So right now, if you own a roofing company, a remodeling company, or an in-home service business, or if you're a sales rep, if you're a sales professional, if you're a sales warrior at one of those companies, I need you to stop what you're doing. Or if you're driving onto going to a job, then I'll just listen to this message right now, and I'll get you ready for your next sales conversation that you have with one of these amazing homeowners. So again, stop what you're doing or just listen to me if you're driving. I'm going to say something in the next 60 seconds that might be the most important thing that you hear this week. And that is, listen to this. You do not have a sales problem. Now you might think you have a sales problem, but you do not have a sales problem. You don't have an effort problem. You guys hustle hard. You guys work like a dog. You don't have a lead problem, even though you might think you do. And you definitely don't have a closing problem. What you have is an identity problem. And I'm going to prove it to you today in this live. So my name is Jason Forrest. I'm the CEO of Forrest Performance Group, or FPG.com. We've been ranked several years as the #1 ranked sales training company in the world by global gurus. We also have a training program called Warrior Selling. That is the only training program that is endorsed by the Department of War to train the United States Army recruiters, as well as the United States Marines on the leadership level. I share that with you only because I want you to know that the most trusted organizations trust us to help them. We were able to go into the Army and double their conversion rate in just 90 days to give them more purpose, more fulfillment, and of course, help persuade today's youth to come serve this great country. And so we were able to help them overcome, objections such as, I don't want to die, and I'm not sure that I can leave my family long enough, and we're able to help them. And so I share that with you because I want you to know that the same exact strategies that we use to help roofers and remodelers also works to serve this amazing country that we're a part of. Last week, my wife and I, Mary and I, spent 7 days with a roofing company in Kansas. It's a company that I'm actually an equity partner in. And what happened that week changed everything for them. And I want to share with you what we taught them last week that caused them to have the greatest sales week of their over a decade career, and it's going to change everything for you. So stay with me. We're gonna be together for I don't know, about 40 minutes or so. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little less. It depends on if the Spirit leads me to say other things. So stay with me. So this could be this conversation I'm about to have with you. These insights, these secrets, these triggers, these techniques that I shared with them and we share with the United States Army. I promise you, is going to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you in commission and millions of dollars to your company. And at the end, I'm also going to invite you to something that is 100% free. And I'm also going to tell you exactly why I'm giving it away for free. So it's important to know that, because I know when anything is free, your like skepticism filter rises, and it should. I don't blame you. It's not your fault. It's just because you've been burned in the past. And so I will be sharing something with you for free. It's our full price closers challenge. And so again, if you want to check it out, then you can go to fullpricecloser.com. It's about showing you how to be a full price closer. And what's crazy about it is when you charge your customer full price, you're giving them certainty, which is exactly what they're wanting. They're wanting certainty from you. And the crazy thing about it is when they ask to lower your price, when you give them a discount, when you give them a same day coupon, when you give them those things, you think that you're actually serving the customer, but all the research says that you're actually causing less certainty in them. And the most important thing in selling is certainty, is can you transfer certainty that you are the best to solve their problem, to improve their life in their home right now. If that's a leaky roof, if that's the look of their house, if that's the backyard, if that's remodeling their kitchen, their bathroom, their flooring, like this is what you are selling. You are not selling what you think you are selling. You're not selling a roof. You're not selling a kitchen. You're selling certainty. You're selling safety. You're selling protection, and that's what we're going to talk about a lot today, as well as in the full price closers challenge. Can you imagine like right now, if you could sell your next job, which we can, and we'll show you exactly how to do it, sell your next job 100% full price, and the customer thanks you for it. Like the customer thanks you for charging them full price and not giving them a deal, because that is what we are going to show you how to do, which is pretty awesome, right? So let me tell you about Kansas. So Mary and I, we actually drove into Kansas, and we spent the entire week with them. And here's the thing: this company is already doing great. Like they're already doing great. They're not a bad company. They're a great company. They're one of the most dominant players in the market. Great owner, great people, and man, do they hustle! Like they hustle so hard. They work so hard. They work like a dog. I'm sure just like everyone else does that's listening to us right now. And they had heart. But their numbers weren't where they should have been. They had really high cancellations, too high of cancellations, and the owner and a couple of like key salespeople in this 20 salesperson team of roofers, of door knockers. There's only a handful of them that were actually selling the majority of the roofs. And I'm sure you can relate to that, right? Where it's the 80-20 rule. There's a few core people that are actually selling majority. Well, the problem with that is it creates a lot of concentration risk in the organization. It creates a lot of uncertainty in the organization. And we want to create a culture. What I always say is we don't want we don't want a couple of Rambos. Instead, we want the Navy SEALs. Instead, we want Delta Force, right? We don't want a few Rambos that put too much risk in the organization. Instead, we want to create Navy SEALs. We want to create Delta Force. We want to do it in a very like ethical, above the line way. And so this team, again, their cancellations were too high, and so we had to work with them. And so every morning, what we did is from 9 to 11, before the sales reps went out door knocking, we trained. We didn't talk about scripts. We didn't like specifically role play objections, at least in the beginning of the week. We definitely did it towards the end of the week. And we didn't talk about how to close faster, but I did do this. So just listen to this. Okay. I said one thing to those reps every single morning. Okay. So listen to what I said. And this is the mindset I need you to have. Again, if you're door knocking, then this is the mindset you need to have. If you have actual appointments that you're running, and you're showing up to people's houses, again, in flooring and roofing and kitchen and baths and landscaping, then you definitely need to hear this. But the point I want to make is if this mindset can literally double the conversion rate, which it did that week, if it can double the conversion rate of door knockers, think about door knockers, right? If it can double the conversion rate of them, it can 100% lead, protect, and serve and create crazy success for those of you right now who are actually running leads, you're running actual appointments. And so here's the thing that I said to them that I want you to install in your brain right now. And that is, you don't need to be first at the door. You just need to be the best at the door. Let me say it again. You do not need to be first at the door. You just need to be the best of the door. And in most cases, I actually think I like personally being second or third or fourth at the door because I get to drift off of the inadequacy of the order takers, the sales amateurs, the manipulators, the con artists. I get to drift off of them because I know they're not going to succeed. So I get to drift off of them, and I get to get layups off of how bad they are doing, right? And so I get to be the force for good. I get to be the polarity that is giving someone nobility, and it's really serving and helping them. And so here's what I told them that I need you to pay attention to right now. And that's, I told them, stop counting how many jobs you sell today. Instead, start counting how many thank yous you get And they were like, what in the world is this guy smoking, right? Jason Forrest is like, he's gotten soft. I thought he has this program called Warrior Selling. I thought he trains the United States Army and the Marine leadership. And how in the world is he saying to start counting thank yous and stop counting how many sales that we get? And I said, here's the thing. Here's the paradox of selling more is the more that you focus on, I'm here to sell your roof. I'm here to get this job done. Or I'm here to one call close you. The more that mindset is what you're focused on, the more resistance you're going to have. But instead, the more you focus on how can I communicate with empathy? How can I help them understand that I get them? How can I create an environment of safety, of certainty, of protection? Like how can I transfer that to them? How can I create that container of safety? How can I solve the biggest thing that's keeping them up at night? How can I solve that problem for them? Right? The more that you focused on that, this is what I told them. The more you focus on that, the more you're going to sell roofs, the more you're going to sell more, right? And so start counting the thank you. Start counting people saying, hey, man, you're the best salesperson I've ever met in my entire life. I wish more people were just like you. If like every door knocker was just like you, man, I talk to all of you guys, but most of the door knockers out there are creepy guys. Most of them create like fear and panic and worry in me. But man, I really trusted you from the very beginning. And I feel different about you. I said, that's what you're striving for. So if this is making sense right now so far, give me like a like or a thumbs up or something, and just to make sure that we're connecting. Well, okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. So we're gonna keep going. So I told him, said, number one, you got to start counting the thank yous, right? You got to give every single homeowner the best sales experience of their life. And if you do that, you will sell more than you've ever sold. All right. So again, please like pay attention, because right now I know you guys are driving to your next job, and just shift your mindset. And that is ask yourself this question: how can I give this customer the best sales experience of their life? Right? How can I do that? Like, what is it? How does it? It begins with your mind. Like, what's the outcome? How can I get them to say thank you? If I was in their shoes and someone came into my house, a complete stranger, to talk about doors and windows and bathrooms and a remodeling project, and like what would I need to hear from them? How would I what can they do for me that would make me feel safe and certain and protected? That I would end up saying, wow, like I want to spend more time with you because you're solving problems for you're making it easier for me. Like, this is phenomenal. Like you've put me at ease. Like how can I do that? Right? How can I do that? And how can I respect their time, because they took off work to spend time with me. They took PTO to spend time with me. They're inviting a complete stranger into my house to spend time with me. Right? So like, that's what you have to embody. And again, when I started teaching this, you can imagine like the room, right? We got 18 to 23-year-old dudes, and they're like, man, who's this guy? How soft is this message? I've heard a much more aggressive message from other people. And again, at first they were like, I think this guy's super soft. Like, what's going on? And I shared with you I'm going to share this with you, is that by Friday, I said, look, you got to trust me. And even the top producer was like, man, are you serious? Like, is this guy serious? And here's the thing: by Friday, that company had the best sales week they had in a decade. But here's what really matters: is that you want to know what happened after the week was over. Like, here's the most important thing. It's not that they had the best sales week of their last 10 years by focusing on giving every customer the best sales experience, knowing that the score will take care of itself, just like Nick Saban says, right? So that's not actually what mattered. Okay, which is crazy. You're like, but wait, there's more. What matters is what happened after. And that is their cancellation rate went down. Their referrals went up. Is that they could go back to the previous house that got the thank you, and they were able to get referrals from the people next door to them and the people across the street from them, because of how much they served them and they led them and they protected them. The referrals went up. Their cancellation rate went down. Could you guys imagine that you do the exact same amount of work that you're doing now? I'm not asking you to hustle more. I'm asking you to hustle the same. So I'm going to work just as hard as you're working now. Could you imagine working just as hard as you're working now, but doubling your sales and cutting your cancellation rate in half, as well as getting referrals from the customers that you gave the best sales experience of your life? Now, you might be thinking, gosh, this sounds like too good to be true. It's not, because unfortunately, like the shift that I can teach you is something that no one's ever seen before. Again, the United States Army, Fort Knox, could not figure out how to train the Army recruiters. They have the most money. They could do whatever they want. They couldn't figure it out until they couldn't overcome the objections that people did not want to join the Army. And we went in there and we doubled their conversion rate again in 90 days. And so I promise you, if we can help them, we could definitely help you. So here's the thing. Again, you don't have to lose your hustle. They didn't lose their hustle. But what we did is we changed the 3 things that matter most. Okay. So write these things down or just listen to them if you're driving. So we changed their mindset. We changed what they were thinking about. We were changing how they saw themselves. Did they see themselves as someone that was pushing their agenda, or do they see themselves as a purpose-driven sales warrior? Right? We changed their mindset. We changed their identity. We changed their psychology of money. We changed their process, how they approach the door. What do they do in the first 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 60 seconds? What did we do along the way? We changed their process, right? And the most important thing, not most important thing, but we could definitely debate on which one of the 3 is most important. So we changed their mindset, we changed their process. And the third thing is we changed their language. And just like it says in the Bible, I really love the power of language, because it says in the Bible that our words either create love or they create hate, right? Our words either create freedom, which is peace and freedom through our words, or they create friction. Like everything that comes out of your mouth either moves the sale forward or it pauses the sale. Everything out of your mouth either creates freedom or it creates resistance. Everything. Your tongue is a rudder, as it says in the Bible. It has the ability to steer yourself to the promised land or steer yourself to the rocks and crash and burn. And so we have to be impeccable with our words. So we worked with them on changing their identity, changing their mindset, worked with them on changing their approach, changing their tweaking their steps. And then we worked with them on changing their self-talk and the words that they use other people to approach every home as this is the most important decision of your life. This is your home. This is the place where you have memories. You have Christmas. You have the holidays. You have Easter. This past weekend, we celebrated 2 weekends ago on Easter weekend. Right, we had the family over, the parents over. We had the kids. All the kids were there, and we were having this. They're old enough now. They're teenagers now, so we didn't do an Easter egg hunt. We did like a little mini Jesus hunt. Those little mini Jesuses. Right? So we put those all out and had some fun with them trying to find that, and they got some prizes and so forth to find the Jesuses. So anyway, it was kind of fun. But I share that with you because our house is the place where majority of our memories are. And so when you're going to decide someone's house, right, you're going into their identity container. I want you guys to see this, okay? If this is an identity container, this is a place where they currently see themselves as, they're a single person and they're trying to transform to a married person. They're a married person that's about to have kids. They're a married person with young kids that's about to have older kids, right? They're about to become empty nesters. They're about to get divorced. Like these are all these like life changes that people have. And the thing that I need you to know is that you got to stop selling the box. You have to start selling the life inside the box, right? It has nothing to do with like your features. It has nothing to do with like your price per feature. Like that has nothing to do with it. Like that's not why people buy. What people buy is because they're going through a transformational experience. Again, they're transitioning from a married couple with no kids to a married couple with kids, right? They're transitioning to a responsible homeowner. They're transitioning to a wiser person. And so they have to, because of that, it's like their vision is that they want to, have their teenage kids to be able to like lay on the carpet and have like sleepovers and slumber parties. But right now the carpet's really gross and they don't feel safe to be able to do that. And they don't feel proud of that. And so if you're selling flooring, you're not selling flooring. You're not selling the loop count. You're not selling the density of it. What you're selling is the ability for the parent to feel proud and safe, and for the kids to feel excited to have a slumber party on the floor, right? Like that's what you're selling. And so you have to realize that the mistake that most people make, that only the top 20% of people are really mastering that's out there in in-home sales, is you have to sell the future, not the feature. You got to sell the future, not the feature. It has nothing to do with the feature. The feature creates resistance in them, but the future creates certainty and safety and protection. It creates hope. All right. So I share this with you because that story that I was telling you about working with those 17 or 18 to 23-year-old dudes in Kansas, we had a great time together, and they're having a lot of success. And again, it's a company I'm personally invested in financially as well. And I just share that with you because that's not a script story. That's not a motivational story. That's an identity story. Okay. That's the most important thing you have to get, is that none of you are ever, I'm never going to look at any of you in the face and say, man, you guys are not working hard enough. And I know a lot of trainers are probably telling you to, grind harder and hustle harder and work harder. And I'm not saying that, right? If you're in door to door, if you're in in-home sales, if you're driving around all day and you're in your truck and you're going to the next deal and you're getting the rejection, you're working hard, right? You're working hard. So it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with changing the way you see yourself. If you change the way you see yourself, every single thing changes. If you go from I'm here to do something for this customer versus to the customer, if you shift from I'm here to sell them a transformational experience, I'm not here to sell them a transaction. Like, that's the shift, right? So here's what I've learned from training thousands of salespeople, selling thousands of salespeople in roofing, remodeling, home services. We've also written the sales process for the Villages of Florida, Margaritaville, and big home builders. Heston's Mattresses sells 25 to $700,000 mattresses, which is insane. And so we wrote the entire sales experience for that. But specifically, I'm talking to you guys right now, which is my roofers and remodelers. And the thing that we know about training who you guys are, is the problem is never what the owner thinks it is. So talking to my owners right now. Okay. So if you're an owner of one of these in-home services companies, the problem is never what the owner thinks it is. Like, the owner says, my sales reps don't follow the process. The real problem is the process lives inside the owner's head and was never properly installed in the team. Or, the owner is going to say, my reps won't stop discounting. Look, the real problem is not that. The real problem is the reps believe that the price is the only tool they have to give the customer certainty and to give themselves certainty. But there's more than that. You actually give the customer uncertainty when you get the price. And if you are a sales rep giving a discount or a same-day coupon, that you believe that's your only power to convince someone to buy, that means you don't believe in yourself. Like, think about that, right? If you believe the only way to get someone to say yes to you is to lower your price, that means that your power is something outside of you. Your power is not inside of you. And you got to shift from being a victim to being a warrior. And you got to believe that you are the problem and you're the solution. And it's through your mindset, process, and language, you have the ability to cause people and give people permission to pay full price for your home services, to pay full price. Like, it's a privilege to play full price. Like, say that with me right now. Like, it's a privilege. Like, I'm going to give you the gift of paying full price because you're going to feel proud that you paid full price for this. And that's right. Or sometimes maybe the owner is going to say, if you're an owner right now, maybe you're going to say, you know what? There's just not really good salespeople out there. I can't find good salespeople. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of great people out there. The real problem is not there aren't great people. The real problem is again, unleashing the greatness in each of us. Like, that's the real problem, is having a system to turn salespeople that are good into salespeople that are great, turn salespeople that are great into salespeople that are exceptional, to unleash the God-given talents and abilities. And right, no one wakes up every morning and says, I want to be horrible today. Everyone wakes up and says, I want to be great. So we've got the desire. The question is, do we have the skills? And the skills can be easily taught. Skills can be taught, right? Skills, that's not a problem. Or sometimes, if you're listening to this right now and you're a sales rep and you're saying, man, these leads are just really bad, Jason. And I just don't think you understand. I got the cultural buyer and I got the husband, the wife's not there. And I'm going to the seedy neighborhood. They don't have any money to pay for me. Like, I get it. Like, I get that is a story. But here's the thing you need to know about your brain. Your brain is not a truth-telling machine. Your brain is a storytelling machine. Isn't that crazy? So your brain is not going to tell you the truth. Your brain is actually going to tell you a story that's going to make you feel safe, that's going to make you feel certain, that's going to make you feel proud of yourself. But that doesn't mean that it's actually true. That doesn't mean it's the best version of it, right? So it's like Warren Buffett says, be opportunistic when others are fearful and fearful when others are opportunistic. So think about that. So that means that Warren Buffett, right, one of the most successful people in the world, what he believes, the story he tells himself, is that when other people are afraid, he's attacking, okay? And when other people are attacking, he's retreating. Like, he's doing the opposite of what the majority of people are doing. But just think about like the idea of that when it comes to our brain is not a truth telling machine. Our brain is actually a story creating machine, and it creates stories to allow us to be safe. And so do you want to bet on Warren Buffett, or do you want to bet on the majority of the people out there? And so he would say it's not the leads are bad. It's the real problem is that we're running from rejection instead of training to handle it. The leads have nothing to do. It's just the customer hasn't found you yet. Like, this is the thing you have to say is that customer, that same salesperson that says these leads are bad, I promise you, majority of those leads are going to end up getting sold and served and protected by someone else that shows up at their door and solves their problem and is the best at doing that. Right? The thing you have to know in life is that we're all paid equal to our ability to solve people's problems. Like, say it with me. We are all paid equal to our ability to solve people's problems. And so you don't need to be the first at the door. You need to be the best at the door. And so again, the real problem is that we're running from rejection instead of training ourselves to see rejection as a gift. Like, I love rejection, because rejection is saying, you know, I like majority of what you're saying, but I'm just not certain. I'm not certain enough, you know? And so if you can help me like be more certain about this, make me feel safer about the decision, of course I'll say yes. Like, that's what rejection is. That's what a no is. That's what I need to think about it is. It's just the person saying like, I don't feel safe enough. I don't feel certain enough, but I'm not saying no, I'm just saying not yet. And so that means that we just need to improve our skills. We just need to be better. Or how about this one? The sales rep says, you know, I just need more appointments. I just need more. I just need more of these appointments. Again, the real problem is that if you're saying that as a sales rep, the real problem is that you're not converting the appointments you have because someone's taught you the wrong way of selling. It's not your fault. It's just you've been taught like a different way that's not effective. You've been taught selling that causes the customer to resist versus cause the customer to say yes. And again, the secret is what I started with today, and that is you got to focus on giving every customer the best sales experience of their life. You have to give them an experience that they say thank you, that's unforgettable. And if you're not converting the appointments that you desire, it's because you're giving appointments that you're running appointments that just feel like everyone else that they've experienced, right? You're not giving something remarkable. You're not giving something world class. And that is what you have to do. So the real problem is really that. And so focus on being the best version of you. Focus on giving every customer like something to brag to their friends about and be like, oh my gosh, you should have seen this guy, Steve. He came to my house. He was absolutely incredible. And like, we were only planning on buying like a few windows in our front. We decided to do the entire house, and all because he showed me this and he saw this problem of this and he helped us realize this. And man, it just like, I don't know, it just felt amazing. We felt like, so it was incredible. You know, what kind of discount did you get? We paid full price for all of it. Wow. So you went in, that's crazy. Okay. So here's the thing I want you guys to know. And that is, again, like, we got a full price closer, a challenge coming up right now. So full price closer, that's the identity I want you to live. I want you to like say no to the old identity of an order taker or a discount dropper or an excuse maker, or like that version of you is over. Like, the version of you that you gotta like live by going forward. And that is, I'm a full price closer. I'm a full price closer. I'm a sales warrior. I am here to give people freedom from the concerns and the fears that they have. I'm here to create an environment of certainty, safety, and protection. And so here's the thing that I want you to realize, and that's the reason your company hasn't broken through yet, hasn't beat the bigger guys yet, hasn't doubled your sales or 10x your revenue, okay, isn't because of some lack of skill. It isn't because of some lack of hustle. It's because of the identity. It's the identity. It's the culture itself doesn't see themselves as selling as noble, that selling is a gift. Selling is an opportunity to change someone's life. It's a transformational experience. I mean, like my t-shirt says, right? Sales is a calling, transformation is the outcome. Like, that's what it is. And you have to realize that if you're not succeeding, is that you're selling like someone who needs the sale. Let me say it again. If you're not succeeding, if you're not selling at the level that you desire, but you're working hard and you're getting burnt out and you're tired, well, that's because you're selling like someone who needs the sell instead of selling like someone who's there to serve the customer, instead of someone who's there to lead the customer, instead of someone who's there to protect the customer. That's the shift that has to happen, is is how can I communicate to the customer that I get their frustration, I get their worry, I get the magnitude of this decision, I get the financial expense of this decision. How can I lead them through a process that feels safe and feels certain and feels good? How can I protect them from the other companies out there that are trying to manipulate them and con them with some same-day coupon or some crazy discount? How can I protect them from their handyman that does side projects but is also trying to do their bathroom remodel and it's a bad decision? How can I protect them from their friends and family and the media that's making them feel uncertain about what's going on? Like, go into it with those primary questions. Okay, not, man, I better sell this today or I'm going to get fired. Instead, it's, man, how can I give this customer the best version of me? How can I stand out? How can I give them a better experience, knowing the score will take care of itself? Here's the part nobody's talking about that I want you guys to grasp, and that's when you change the identity of a salesperson, when you change the identity of yourself, then what happens is the salesperson stops trying to get something from the customer and starts trying to give something to them. And when that happens, three things happen simultaneously. Okay, number one is that your close rate skyrockets, like goes up like crazy sauce. We have sales reps right now in your industry, in in-home sales and roofing and remodeling, that will go from a 33% close rate to as high as a 66% close rate because of the things that we're teaching them, the mindset shifts, the skill upgrades, just the adjustments. Because here's the thing, people can feel when someone is genuinely trying to serve them, when someone is trying to just get a transaction. If you can shift your energy from what am I here to give them versus what am I here to get them, you can shift your energy from I need to earn their respect, and I do that by solving their problems, by holding them accountable, by making it easy for them, by teaching them something new, by educating them. Like, this is the way that you truly like serve your customers. If you can go into it with that mindset of like, I'm here to help resolve your biggest problem, and resolution, it may or may not end with you, but it's about resolving their problems more than anything else. Like, that's the goal. And when you do that, your conversion rate will at least double, if not triple, because of it. Number two, the second thing that will happen is your cancellations will go down. And I don't know about you, but I don't like cancellations. When I first started selling, I was a very aggressive salesperson. This was over 20 years ago, and I was in the real estate world and the home building world. And I was always in the top 1% out of 300 sales reps that was selling houses. But my cancellation rate was also in the top 1%. Okay. So I had the most sales, but I had the most cancellations. And I'm curious if you could relate to the story. If you can, say yes and give me a 1 in the chat. And so I share that with you because I realized one day, I was like, man, I am working so hard, and then I'm having to work like double hard. And I'm having to like deal with all the buyer's remorse and the cancellations. And this is because I realized something, and that was I was focused more on the transaction. I was focused on more like winning the transaction than I was focused on like winning the thank you. Like, that was the shift that I made. And once I realized it's about me resolving the sale, not just getting the close, then I was able to sell homes at full price and literally just like take my cancellation rate down to easily less than 10%. And again, that's because the customer didn't feel buyer's remorse, right? They felt peace. And that is what we were all striving for. We're all striving for peace and freedom in every decision that we are making in life. Those customers made a decision with someone they trusted, they respected. That's the most important thing. Number three is that once you adopt these concepts, your reputation in the market, it's going to skyrocket. It's going to elevate. It's going to explode because you as a company owner now have an in-home service company that has reviews on Google, has reviews on AI that says your sales reps give the best experience. That like it's a delight. That like anytime they want to come back, like your reps become the standard. People start saying, man, those are the best ones. I wish everyone was really like that. Your referrals become the most powerful sales channel that you have. Like, that's the goal. And so if you want to learn this, we're offering this free 5-day, and I'll talk about why it's free in a second. We're offering this free 5-day full price closer challenge. And again, it's like, gosh, how awesome would it be right now if you could sell just one more job at full price this week. And like, that's the big promise that we're going to do and focus on over 5 days. Is over 5 days, on Monday, you're going to literally declare that this week I'm committing to selling another job, selling one more job at full price. Like, we're just going to do one at a time, right? We're going to sell one job at full price. And every single day, we're going to be a community of people that's going to hold each other accountable to a higher standard of like, how do we get the thank yous? How do we do this? What is this right? And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And it's going to be amazing. Okay. So let's talk about something that's important. And that's why everything you tried before wasn't enough. Okay. So I want to talk to the owners first, and then I'm going to talk to the sales reps. And then we're going to just talk to everyone. We're going to talk to everyone together. Okay. So listen to this. And again, even if you're a sales rep, you're still an owner. You got to have an owner mind. And so if you're a sales rep, listen to this too and have an ownership mind. Okay. Because if you're a sales rep that has an ownership mind, then man, you're the owners think you're the greatest thing in the world. All right. So if you have an employee mind that works for an owner, they don't like you. You're a commodity, you're a liability, right? But if you're a sales rep that has an owner's mind that sees the world through the owner's lens, then man, you are indispensable. Like, you are unleavable. They will keep you forever, which is pretty cool. Okay. So, but to the owners, is that I'm sure you've invested in training before. I'm sure that you've sent your top guys to 3-day seminars. Maybe you hired a sales coach. Maybe you ran morning huddles. You built presentation binders. You did ride-alongs. You had your presentation, software. And here's what happened, right? They came back fired up for about a week, maybe two. Then they reverted, right? Then they went back to their old way of seeing the world. And you were standing there wondering, like, what in the world you paid for? Now, hopefully you got a return on that training, but it didn't stick. And so you felt like kind of defeated and frustrated, and like, maybe it was just, I don't know, like, what's wrong? But let me tell you why that happened. And here's the thing. It's not your fault. Okay. It's not your rep's fault. It's not your rep's fault that the training didn't stick and they didn't have a continued ROI. It's most sales training is built on a technique. It gives your team like the new scripts for the day. It gives them new objection handlers. It gives them the new closes. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't change the belief system underneath the technique. And so if you don't change the belief, there's a concept in psychology called cognitive dissonance. So it's kind of a fun term. All it basically means is that if you've been taught to do one thing, but it's inconsistent with your belief system, your beliefs will always outweigh your behaviors, right? Like, your truth in life is that your beliefs have more to do with your success than any behavior you're ever taught. I mean, this is the reason why you can listen to a YouTube video, or you can listen to a podcast on how to be a millionaire with 6-pack abs, but you're not a millionaire with 6-pack abs. Well, Jason, what do you mean? I mean, I listen to the content. Yeah, you're listening to the content. It's telling you exactly what to do to have 6-pack abs and be a millionaire, but we don't execute. And it's not because of the techniques aren't out there, but it's because our beliefs don't allow ourselves for the techniques to actually take hold and for us to execute. There's an incongruency in what's really going on in our identity and our mindset and our beliefs. And so we have to change, again, the identity in order for the skills to be able to take hold. And so that's why training fails. That's why I left corporate America at the age of 28. I'm 47 now. I left corporate America. I was the national sales trainer for a Fortune 500 big home building company. And I left it because I realized that training was failing America. Like, training wasn't working. It wasn't accomplishing the goals that people were spending a lot of money to hear some guru, tell stories, but no one ever actually made a positive outcome. Here's the thing. 100% of our customers in our revenue operating system, 100% are making their sales goals or exceeding their sales goals right now. That's pretty crazy, right? I don't know about anyone else that can actually say that. And they're making their sales goals with higher profit margins because they're selling jobs at full price and less cancellations, less turnover, more fulfillment, better brand recognition. Like, that's what happens when you change the belief system underneath the technique. That's what happens when you change the culture from a culture that has to have salespeople to a culture that reveres salespeople. Like, we revere the best salespeople on the planet. So here's the thing I need you to know, and that's a technique without a new belief is a costume. A technique without a new belief is just a costume. It's fake, right? That you've seen this before, right? You yourself have learned a new technique, and all of a sudden you go into a house, learn the technique, and then as soon as you get pressure, what do? You take the costume out, you take the costume off as soon as the pressure is put on. Well, why is that? Well, that's because, again, the underlying belief system didn't match the technique, the words that you were saying. And so we have to make sure that the belief systems are in alignment with the technique. So again, it's not your fault. I mean, there's a lot of like hypey trainers out there right now in the industry that are like, got their muscle shirts on and they're yelling, they're screaming, and they're telling you to, work harder and hustle harder, and you're a little loser, and if you don't work harder, you're not gonna win. Again, that's not how it actually works. Like, Nick Saban does not yell at his people and say that. Nick Saban says, follow the process, change your identity, change the mindset. That's the shift that has to happen, right? So the thing that we do at FPG is very different, as hopefully you could already tell. We work at the identity level. We don't teach you and your sales reps to hustle harder. We teach you to sell differently. We teach you to give them a new opportunity and to see sales as something as noble and to see themselves as something different. Like, think about this right now. Like, if you can sell yourself right now that your customers have never met a salesperson like you, and they're going to thank you for being in their house because of the value you're going to provide and how much they can cancel their appointments with everyone else because they just need you, right? If you can sell yourself on that, then you can sell the customer that you're going to become that, and then you got to execute. And we're going to show you how to do that, right? You got to see yourself differently. And here's the thing: when someone changes how they see themselves, the techniques become natural. They don't need to remember the script because they're not trying to remember something anymore. It's just becoming an extension of who they are. Like, they're just becoming a more evolved version of themselves, an upgraded model. That's all it is, right? That's a difference between training that sticks and training that evaporates. And so here's what this means for you as an owner. And that's when your reps close with integrity, when they stop discounting out of fear, and they start serving the customer with confidence and certainty and protection mindset, then you stop being the emergency closer as the owner. You stop being the one who gets called in when the deal goes sideways. You're able to go on a vacation with your family and have a great time. Your team becomes self-sustaining, self-sufficient, and you're proud of the experience that you're giving their customers. And you finally get to work on the business instead of in the business. You don't feel like you're held hostage to the business, or you're a victim of your own circumstances, because that's not why you create your own company. You create your own company to make a difference in the world. And that's what you're able to start doing. Now, to the reps, listen to this message. And that is, because I know some of you right now are listening to me because your owner probably sent you this link. Hey, check out this guy. He's saying some interesting things. And some of you probably found this yourself because something isn't clicking and you're trying to figure out why. But let me ask you something right now, like me to you right now. Listen to me right now, okay? And that's when you walk up to the door this morning, okay? When you walk up to the door this afternoon, right? When you take your next appointment, what are you thinking about? What's that feeling in your chest? Because if there's even a flicker of anxiety or even apathy or a have to mentality, if you're thinking about the quota, the commission, or what happens if they say no, you're not present. And your present self is your best self. If you're focused too much on the result and not the process or the experience or being the best version of you that day, I promise you that feeling, that energy is already working against you. The homeowner can feel it. And you're probably thinking, can they feel it? Put yourself in their shoes. You can feel it, but you can feel it when someone next to you is not present with you, is not there to show up to give you the world-class experience, right? The customer doesn't know why they feel that you're a creepy guy. They don't know why they don't want to spend much time with you, but they just feel slightly on edge. Their radar goes up. They feel something's wrong. And all of a sudden they feel like they need to start protecting themselves, like their internal safety mechanism is like starting to get guarded. And that's the moment the sale dies. That's the moment it's over, unless you change the course, right? Unless you start to create an experience that gives them certainty, safety, and protection. Now, let me tell you what the best rep that I saw in Kansas was thinking before every door. Okay. This is the best rep, right? The best rep, the one that just like literally sells 3-4 times, is going to make almost $500,000 this year in door-to-door in-home sales, which is incredible, right? This is what the best rep believes. And that's, I'm going to give this homeowner the best sales experience of their life. Whether they buy or not, they are going to be glad I knocked on their door. Like, that's what you have to say to yourself. I'm going to give this homeowner the best sales experience of their life. Whether they buy or not, they're going to be glad that they invited me in, that I knocked on their door, that I showed them the possibilities. That's it. That shift in intention is the difference between a 30% close rate and a 60% close rate. Not a new line, not a new tactic, but a new purpose. Because right now you are saying and doing things that are in alignment with your purpose. And so if your purpose is to pressure them into buying with some same day coupon that is not ever a same day, or if your purpose is to go to every door and say, I'm a design consultant, but yet I've never actually had a design degree, but my boss told me to say I'm a design consultant, even though I'm really here to sell you a kitchen or remodeling. But I think the best thing to do is to start off with a lie every time. And since you don't trust salespeople, what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like I'm a design consultant, but I'm really going to try to sell you something. Like, that is bananas. Like, who in the world, what moron came up with that, right? I mean, no offense to whoever came up with that, but why would we ever start off anything in a lie? Start off, like, go to the door and say, like, I am here to give you the best sales experience of your life. I'm here to solve your problems. I'm here to resolve this decision that you're making today. We might be the right option for you. We might not. I don't know. Let's take it off the table right now. Let's just make the first decision. And that is, have you guys definitely decided to remodel your kitchen? Maybe not with us. Have you definitely decided to change out your bathroom? Have you definitely decided to change out your flooring? Have you definitely decided to fix your roof, to repair your roof? Have you definitely decided to redo your landscaping, your plumbing, right? Like, take it one decision at a time. It's not about me convincing them to buy from me. It's about me taking them through an experience that gets them to make decisions in a logical and rational way that in the end, I might be the best one for them, but I don't really know. Not every customer that you have is in alignment with your brand. And so we gotta sell to the people that are in aligned with our brand. So here's the thing. When you operate with that energy, the homeowner relaxes. They stop defending. They start listening. They stop thinking about whether they can trust you, and they just start opening up and telling you what they really need. You guys have all experienced it before. You know, it's not an accident. It's just you were in alignment with the customer in that moment. In that moment, you started serving them. You started protecting them. You started helping them. You started leading them. That's what selling looks like when it's noble. Like, say that to yourself. Selling is noble. Selling is noble. It's an opportunity to change someone's life. That is what's happening. So right now, I'm going to speak to both you guys, both you guys right now, both the owners and the sales warriors that are out there. You know, here's the full price closer principle. And here's the concept at the heart of everything that I teach. Selling is not something you do to someone. Selling is something you do for someone. When you con someone, you're doing something to them. But when you sell someone something, you're doing something for them. And I know it sounds like, wait a minute, Jason, like right now, if I was to ask you, what's the difference between how Bernie Madoff conned people into stealing their money and how Jesus sold people into converting them into a new identity? What's the difference in the process? What's the difference in the language that Bernie Madoff used to con versus Jesus used to sell? What's the difference in the language, the difference in the process? And the answer is nothing. They both use the exact same process to understand the customer's needs, to understand their mission, to build empathy with you, to say, I get you. Then they both transition to, oh, well, here's what we can do for you. Here's what I can do for you. Will you follow me? And they both protected them. Yeah, I know other people are going to say this, but don't worry about those people. Both Bernie Madoff and Jesus said the same thing. The only difference is the intention. Bernie Madoff was lying the entire time, and Jesus was telling the truth. That's the only difference. But the mistake that we make is, for some reason, we immediately think to sell someone something is to Bernie Madoff them, and it's not. To sell someone something is to Jesus them. Like, that's the difference in the whole thing. And so you've got to see selling that way. And once you see that, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like on a mission. This is amazing and this is incredible. Now, it doesn't work. It doesn't work if you walk away from someone's house and you say, well, I kind of oversold that person, or that person's not gonna be able to afford what I just sold them, or we're really not the best option for them, but I still use my same day coupon to get them to buy. And I still, because I needed the money. I needed the money. And so I did the wrong thing. I did it. Like that does not help you. That actually, that gives selling a bad rep. So we want to be assertive. We want to be truthful. We want to protect that customer, and we want to protect them from any of the Bernie Madoffs that are out there, the bigger companies that are conning them, the companies that are telling them they can do something they really can't. They don't stand by their names. Like that's what we want to do, right? And so here's the thing. When a homeowner has a roof that's failing and they don't do anything about it, they're going to have water damage. They're going to have mold, structural issues. They're going to spend 3 times more fixing the downstream damage than they would have spent on the roof. So when you walk away from that door without a sale because you were afraid to hold firm on the price, you didn't protect them, you failed them. And as soon as you start discounting the price, it creates uncertainty in them. So you either sell the destiny or you sell the discount. And I'm telling you, you guys have all experienced before, when you lowered your price, you still didn't get the sale. So when you lower the price, you create uncertainty. When you stay firm on your price, you protect them and they believe in your offer because you're giving them permission to spend more and to get more. So again, this full price closer challenge, this identity of a full price closer, and I want you to adopt and say yes to today, is not someone who's aggressive. It's someone who's brave, bold, and honest. It's someone who's convicted. The full price closer is someone who is convicted. The full price closer is someone that believes so much in what they are doing. They are selling so deeply that they care about the customer's outcome so sincerely. They care about the future identity of this customer's trying to become a responsible homeowner, a memory maker, and they want to build this pool in the backyard. Is wanting to have a better kitchen for their family gatherings or a new approved bathroom for their in-laws that are going to stay, right? Like they're caring about, like you have to care more about the customer's outcome than they do. If you care more about the customer's outcome, then now you're the leader that can take them to a place they won't go to, obviously, on their own. Like that's the game changer that must happen. And when you become that person, you become someone that settles less, that says, you know what, I'm not going to settle less. Then all of a sudden, like your identity and your belief system, it feels again noble. It feels like you're doing something for the customer. So here's the thing. Being a full price closer is not greedy. Being a full price closer is being generous. It means that you're giving them the full solution. It means that you're giving them a solution they can trust, that they can count on, because you're charging them what you're worth. You're charging them the complete job. You're doing it right the first time, so they don't have to be punished with shoddy work in the future. You're giving them the best materials, the best crew, because if you're going to charge full price, you can afford the best labor, the best materials, the best superintendents, the best crew, the best warranty, the best onboarding process, the best follow-up, the best peace of mind, the best. You can give them the very best. You can be known as the best in the world at what you do when you charge full price. But if you don't, if you discount, you can't give them the best. You might be able to say, hey, I'm going to give this to you, but you're not going to be able to pay your subs to follow through. You're not going to be able to have the warranty. You're not going to be able to afford the follow through. And so you're going to be saying one thing and delivering something else. In Texas, we call that a phony, or we call that someone all hat, no cattle. We call that someone who's driving the pickup truck, who wears the starched jeans, has the button shirt, but doesn't own a single piece of cow. Right? Cattle, right? It's because they're a false prophet. We don't want to be false prophets, right? We want to sell with integrity, and discounting is the coward's way out. Discounting is the coward's way out. Discounting is saying, I don't believe in myself and my product and my company, but full price is the act of someone who respects themselves and their customer enough to give them permission to say yes to paying full price. They respect themselves and their customer enough to stand behind what they are charging. That is what we teach. I don't know if you ever heard this message before, but that you're like, where did this guy come from? This is what we teach, right? We're going to give you permission to sell at full price and to not apologize. Like think of the last time that you said this, or you heard someone say this as a salesperson. Yeah, I know we're expensive and I'm sorry. It's just what we charge and I apologize. Wow. Like you think that apologizing is the right thing to do, but all you did was just kill your deal. The words out of your mouth just was your tongue, and it just steered your ship to crash and burn. It did not steer your ship to the promised land. Without a vision, people will perish, right? So if you're giving them the vision of apologizing for your price, that means you don't believe in the price. And therefore, you're also giving them permission to say no to you and to use someone else that they can actually trust because they stand behind their price. So again, this is what we teach, and it works not just for the numbers, but for the soul of your company, for the legacy that you give to your people. So again, we've been ranked, Forest Performance Group's been ranked the #1 sales training company in the world by global gurus. The ranking kind of changes constantly between us and Grant Cardone and Jordan Belfort and different people on the list. And so we're always kind of swapping rankings. But the difference between us and everyone else is that we're specifically focused on home-related services. We're focused on that. We don't train anyone else besides home-related services or home building itself. This is where we focus. So not knocking those other trainers, but the difference with us is that we're only in your world. And so we could go inch wide, mile deep and not give you generic concepts or scripts or ideas or tactics, but specifically work with you on what you're dealing with in the home, because the home is where the heart is. And I love the home. I love everything about the home. So we work in the home services world, we work in the home building world, and we also work in the military. Those are the 3 sectors that we work on. And again, we're the only training program that's approved by the Department of War to train the Army recruiters. And we've also worked with the Marine leadership team as well. And so I just shared this with you because none of it really matters except for this. And that's that it's relevant to you. And that's the most important thing that you need to know. So I've watched roofing reps go from 2 to 3 jobs a week to 5 to 6 jobs a week, not by knocking on more doors, not by getting more leads, but by having world-class sales experiences at the doors that they were already getting. I've watched companies slash their cancellation rate in half, not by changing their contracts, but by changing the emotional experience the customer had during the sale. And I've watched owners step back from being the emergency closer for the first time in their company's history, not because they hired better reps, but because they finally had a system installed that was already in their head, but it wasn't in their team, right? Like they were able to create a culture of Navy SEALs and not some one-off Rambos that create a liability. This works, and it works in your world specifically, not in a corporate boardroom, not in software sales, in roofing, remodeling, home services. It works in the home. So I know we're out of time here. So again, let's jump on the full price closer challenge. So again, you can go to fullpricecloser.com. I'm sure the link is in the chat right now. I'll see you on the other side. And again, I want to be real clear. We had a most recent success story where one of the owners in our network ran the numbers. His average rep was losing 3 jobs per month to I need to think about it. And his average job was $20,000. That's $60,000 a month in lost revenue because of I have to think about it. So just think about how much money you're leaving on the table. So if you have 5 reps that are hearing that's $300,000 a month on the table. That's $3.6 million a year. Not because the leads are bad, not because the market is slow, because the identity and the process are not right. And for the reps right now listening, just think about what would happen if you doubled your conversion rate literally overnight, which is 100% easy to do. It's not hard to do. I know you're skeptical, but just take the first step, go into the challenge, and you'll see crazy things that will happen to you. So again, it's a free 5-day training experience. Why am I offering it for free days? Why is it live? It's because I want to convince the world that selling is noble. And I just believe that too many of you right now have been conned a bill of goods that makes you feel less than, that's yelled at, they're screamed at, you're told you're not enough. And then they try to falsely build you back up. You guys are enough. You guys are amazing. And I just want to show you how to change your thinking and how to sell above the line, how to sell with integrity. Will absolutely change the game for you, and you'll be thanked for it. Like that is what we're going to do. And so it's over 5 days. Every single day, we're going to work with you. You're going to learn something. You're going to go apply it with your homeowners that day. And then you're going to come and share how awesome you are and how much money you're making that week and how many thank yous you're getting. And it's going to be absolutely incredible over 5 days. I can't wait to see you. So go ahead and sign up right now, and I'll see you on the other side. This is Jason Forrest. Push yourself to become a better version of you. And if anything, believe in your heart and soul that selling is noble. And your ultimate goal today is to get customers to say, I thank you. Focus on the thank yous. I promise you the money is going to flow. All right. See you next time.